walk you through a scenario to help you see the difference an ally makes. Imagine a normal conference room where a black woman is the only woman and only black person in the meeting. Let's see what happens when she tries to share.
I think we have to handle this Spencer account very carefully. They have strong opinion about sales, and if we don't give them the resources they need, they may leave our firm.
I think Terry's right. We can't afford to make a mistake on this one.
I agree with you both. And I was just wondering if...
You know, you're right. We need to count the cost of what they want. Make sure we don't do anything to jeopardize this account.
So what just happened? The woman was interrupted. Everyone waited for the first two men to offer their opinions, but when the woman spoke, she wasn't allowed to finish her thought. Now, to be honest, this is very common, but before we see what this woman does, I want you to notice a few things. I don't think Julian meant to be unkind, but by interrupting Robin, what was he communicating? He was communicating that what she has to say isn't important. In fact, this interruption communicates what he has to say is more important than what she would say. By interrupting, he's also communicating he doesn't want to hear her perspective. He's robbing her of her voice and contribution. Now, even if Julian didn't mean to communicate those messages, his thoughtless act still conveys that. Now, how do you think Julian's interruption makes Robin feel? She probably felt both dismissed and frustrated at the same time. She may have wondered why this keeps happening to her. Now, Robin may or may not have been reflective enough to recognize that what Julian did was wrong. She could have beaten herself up with what she was doing wrong, or she could have thought she just needed to be more assertive to get her voice heard. On the other hand, if Robin recognized that it isn't okay for someone to interrupt her, she might have addressed it in the moment. Let's see what that would look like.
You know, you're right. We need to count...
Excuse me, Julian, I wasn't finished speaking. As I was saying, I wonder if we just talked with them bluntly about the problem with their campaign. I know Sam and Miguel, and they both want to do what's best for this initiative. For them, it's not just about the numbers.
Did you see how the men responded to her assertion? How do you think they felt about her response to being interrupted? They looked pretty annoyed. They may have thought she was being rude to interrupt Julian, and that's the problem with these kinds of things. It's so easy to remain quiet because you don't want to offend the person who's interrupting you. No one wants people to think you're too aggressive. Now imagine the same situation, except this time, Robin has an ally in the room.
I think Terry's right. We can't afford to make a mistake on this one.
I agree with you both. And I was just wondering if...
You know, you guys are right.
Sorry to interrupt you, Julian, but I don't think Robin was finished, and I'd really like to hear what she had to say.
Oh, I'm sorry, Robin.
Thanks, Terry. What I was wondering was...
See the difference the ally made? Now, I don't want you to think that Robin shouldn't have spoken up when she was interrupted. Without an ally, I would encourage her to voice her perspective with confidence. But I want you to see the difference an ally can make. Just by being aware, Terry gave Robin a voice. He didn't shame or attack Julian, but Terry made it clear that Robin's opinion mattered. How do you think Robin felt at the end of this meeting? She probably felt seen and valued. Do you think that affected her work? You bet it did. I can so relate to this situation, and maybe you can too. Or maybe you're in Terry's seat. How hard would it be for you to speak up? I think we have to acknowledge that addressing these kinds of situations takes courage. As the only, or as the ally, it's scary to speak up, but if we don't, these kinds of things will continue to happen. And that's why building a culture of allyship is so important, because for an only to have an ally makes for more effective teams and a more productive organization.